Have you ever wondered why is it that the nicer you are, the more you feel disrespected? This is no coincidence. This is programming. A society has taught you, don't play around, don't react, be nice and you will be loved. But the price of being nice is the erosion of your boundaries layer by layer until you forget who you are. You think being polite means being strong? Wrong. There are masks sewn with the words yes, but they suffocate you every day without leaving a trace. In a white-lit office, you smile awkwardly at a mockery. You say it's okay when someone is late for the third time. You nod politely when someone steps on your pride, then turn away, heart pounding, fists clenched until they bleed. That's not strength. That's a form of submission. Do you think you're a good person? No. You are the result of a training process. The reward is acceptance, and the price is yourself. From a young age, you were taught, if you sit still, you're good. If you don't react, you're mature. If you don't get angry, you're reasonable. You get patted on the head when you know how to yield. You get praise when you know how to endure. And then each of those compliments becomes a needle, injecting you with poison. You have to be gentle to be loved. You don't learn how to protect yourself. You learn how not to upset anyone. You don't learn how to say no. You learn how to endure, to keep the peace. Why is it that the more agreeable you are, the more you are pushed into the dark side? Why are you always the one making peace, but the one who gets hurt the most? You think you are being gentle. No, you are giving control of your emotions to others. You think you are being nice. No, you are being programmed to be easy to control, and the sophisticated people see that immediately. Wise people do not look for strong people to manipulate. They look for people who do not dare to disappoint others. They speak sweetly enough, apologize slowly enough, make promises warm enough. And you, the one who always wants to keep the peace, will stick your neck out for them to put on a chain. Have you ever felt exhausted just because you always have to keep a good image? Always be reasonable. Always be nice. If yes, you are not living, you are acting. Have you ever been taught that makes you believe that being nice is moral? Comment below. Do you dare admit that sometimes being nice is a cover for fear of being abandoned? You're not loved because you're good. You're kept because you're easy. Easy to please. Easy to forgive, easy to forget. And when you're not easy anymore, they disappear. There are relationships where there's no respect, only use. You're always the one waiting, always the one texting first, always the one backing off to keep the other person comfortable. And you tell yourself, I'm loved. No, you're just being used. Every time you say it's okay, they respect you a little less. Every time you laugh at being looked down upon, they understand that they don't need to change because you'll always be there, gentle, forgiving, and worthless. Someone who promises to call back, but never does. You still forgive, again and again. Someone who forgets you unless they need something. You still run because you don't want to make trouble. But deep inside, you start to feel empty because your kindness is no longer a choice, but a trap. The more you give, the more you find. There is nothing left to hold back. Being polite is not always a sign of strength. Sometimes it is a plea to be accepted. Wrapped in a smile, you smile so no one will leave you behind. You apologize so no one will think you are stubborn. You're gentle so others will not feel awkward. And you lose yourself without realizing it. You think you are easy to approach, but to them you are just someone who doesn't dare to lose anyone. You think you are keeping the peace, but you are sacrificing your boundaries to be called cute. Have you ever felt like the relationship you're in is no longer love, but an unpaid job? Have you ever feared that if you stop being kind, you'll have no one left? If so, you're not alone, but you need to stop. Comment below. You think screaming is the way to regain power. No, in a world full of fake noise, silence is a scream that makes a manipulator lose his cool. There are people who never swear at you. No yelling, no punching. They control with their eyes by looking too long. 2, quietly by creating a gap for you to fill. And if you rush to fill it with explanations, with apologies, with a smile, you've fallen into a trap. Someone looks at you, doesn't say anything. You feel uncomfortable. You look away. They don't need to do anything. They just prolong the silence and wait for you to lose control. Manipulators hate silence Not because they need words, because they need your reaction to gauge how much control they have. When you are silent and not afraid, they lose control. A look that does not waver, a presence that does not smile, does not fear, does not retreat. It leaves them reeling because you're no longer acting. You are not trying to fix the atmosphere. You let the atmosphere speak for you. Silence, when it comes from a place of calm, is not tolerance. It is the last line of defense. It says clearly, I will not participate in this drama anymore. And when you do not react, do not resist, do not coax, the manipulator is forced to do the thing they hate the most, face themselves. They text, I just want to explain. You read and do not respond. You have just withdrawn from the game. They have been playing with you for months. Silence is not surrender. Silence is a withdrawal of courtesy. It's a statement. I don't want to correct anyone anymore. It's the most powerful voice without opening your mouth. Have you ever confused someone just by not responding? Comment below. What time did your silence reveal your true colors? Don't be shy. Your story may awaken someone who is being manipulated by a fake smile. They say forgiveness is noble, but in the world of manipulators, forgiveness doesn't change them. It just resets the game. Have you forgiven them because they apologized at the right time? Have you ever thought they were sincere this time? Have you ever believed that a line of I was wrong? How much damage can be repaired? The truth is an apology is not repentance. It is a retention strategy. It is a tool to soften your heart. Just when they are about to lose you, you read it. Your heart sinks. You think they have changed. But 3 weeks later, the cycle repeats and you realize they are not sorry. They are just afraid of losing the stage. Manipulators don't apologize because they understand you. They apologize because they understand you are soft. They are not afraid of losing you because you are strong. They are afraid of losing you because you're the only one who still believes in apologies without action. You think forgiveness is the end. No, forgiveness is a reset button. Once you forgive too quickly, you have reset your submissive role. Forgiveness without boundaries is a form of self-betrayal. You are giving a ticket back, not knowing that the person is still carrying the knife. And this time they will stab deeper because they know you will forgive. But then they get angry when you need time. They urge you to forgive. If it is repentance, they wait. If it is strategy, they force it. Machiavelli would not forgive just because he heard a nice apology. He would wait to see if the behavior changed. Because true forgiveness is not about opening the door again. Forgiveness is about locking the door and seeing if the other person has the patience to stand outside in silence. Have you ever forgiven because you believe someone would be different? Have you ever felt tired of forgiving too quickly? Too much? Comment below. What did you learn from the time you forgave the wrong person? Please share. Not to blame yourself, but to end the cycle. Do you think compassion is power? No. Unlimited compassion only makes you a painkiller for people who don't want to heal. Have you been there? Listening to them whine for hours about the same pain. Listening to them tell the same story over and over again. You nod, sympathize, comfort. You think you're helping, but actually you're being used. Every day is different. Every day is I'm tired. I'm in pain. I need to hear your voice. You can sell appointments. You stay up late. You send dozens of long messages, but then they never ask back. What about you? That's not connection. That's blood-sucking. You become a temporary drug. Unpaid, unheard, sympathy without limits will turn you into a life buoy for a ship that never wants to dock. They don't need a solution. They need a stage. An audience that knows how to nod, knows how to see and understand, knows when to be silent. And you, because you are too good, because you're too afraid of making others sad, because you are afraid of being seen as heartless, have volunteered to be a sacrifice. The cruel truth is not everyone who is in pain deserves help. Some people don't need to be healed. They need a witness. And you are slowly drowning in the role of a doctor who has no right to take a leave. You are always the mediator when your mother and father argue. You are the child who must understand. Must stand or must keep this house quiet. But when you're sad, no one turns around and asks, what do you need? Because you've been taught that sacrifice is love. No, sacrifice is not love. Sacrifice without boundaries is spiritual suicide. Unlimited empathy is a sign of not knowing how to protect yourself. Have you ever been taught by someone that you have to understand them even when you are exhausted? Have you ever felt that the more you give, the more you are drained? Comment below. When did you realize that you were no longer a helper, but a victim being consumed? You don't have to scream to be respected. You just have to disappear at the right time. Because sometimes absence is the biggest slap in the face of contempt. Some people don't listen to you when you speak, don't take you seriously when you warn them, don't change when you beg. But when you are silent, when you withdraw from the game, when you are no longer there to explain, to save, to plead, they begin to realize what they have lost. You used to be the one who texted first, asked, healed. Then one day, you stopped texting. They sent emojis asking where are you going? You didn't answer. They called. You didn't pick up. That was the day they realized you have the right to disappear. Withdrawal, if it comes from awareness, is not avoidance. It is a statement without justification. You are not running away. You are saying, I am no longer the main character in your play. I am not here to heal those who do not want to heal themselves. I no longer give kindness away like free bread. Withdrawal is when you choose not to engage in conversations that change nothing. When you stop trying to explain things to someone who won't listen. When you stop holding on to someone who has become accustomed to your presence. And when you withdraw at the right time, without fuss, without blame, without drama, you reclaim leadership in your own life. You used to be the one who stayed behind to work overtime, nodding to unreasonable deadlines. Then one day, you turned off your computer on time, walked away without looking back. No complaining, no arguing, no explaining. You just declare my presence is no longer an obligation. It's a choice. The powerful person isn't the one who screams the loudest in the room. It's the one who knows when to leave the room and doesn't come back. Have you ever withdrawn from a relationship, from a job, from a group of people? Have you ever felt like your presence was being taken for granted until you weren't there anymore? Comment below. I've disappeared. And that's when they started to realize, if you spend your whole life trying to be loved, when will you be respected? You were not born to be cute. You were born to have a place. You are too used to being gentle to keep the peace, smiling awkwardly to avoid conflict, ignoring to avoid being called drama. And little by little, you trade clarity for comfort in the eyes of others. But do you see? The more comfortable you are, the less people respect you. The more okay you are, the more people dare to do not okay things to you, because they only respect things that make them adjust themselves. You are a good child, not arguing, not resisting, not embarrassing anyone. You endure, you endure. You keep quiet until one day you explode, and the whole family wonders why. No one realizes you have been broken for a long time. It's just that you used to be polite in silence. You are not a chair that anyone can sit on. Not a place where others come when they need to and leave when they are done. Not a pause button for someone to come back to at any time. You are a person with boundaries, valuable, and from today your kindness is no longer free. No one is born with a position. A position is won not by shouting but by timely refusal, timely absence and clarity that makes others reflect on themselves. No one can take advantage of you if you do not continue to cooperate in silence. No one dares to take you lightly if you stop being gentle yourself. You don't need to be the most patient person. You need to be the one who knows when enough is enough. Comment, where will you stop being nice? How will you reclaim your place? Don't be shy, because this is the first time you live as a valuable person, not a social tool. Follow. Share if you have ever been looked down upon for being too nice. And from today, you choose to be a person of weight. You used to live to be loved. Now you live to not be looked down upon. You used to forgive too quickly, laugh too easily, suffer too long. Now you know when to be silent, when to retreat, and you don't need anyone to understand you to be yourself. You don't need to make anyone comfortable anymore, because in the end, the survivor is not the cutest person, but the one who knows when to stop, knows how to say no, knows how to disappear, and knows how to keep the most valuable part of yourself for the right person. If you used to live in a vulnerable situation, and now you choose to live as a person of weight, leave a comment below. I'm back, and this time I have boundaries. This series is not for the faint-hearted, foreshouldered age. It is for those who have suffered in silence and are ready to wake up. Welcome to the journey, from nice to important, from silent to having a voice. And from this moment on, you will no longer be controlled just because you are polite. Follow the channel. Share the journey, because maybe somewhere someone is still trading kindness for survival.